Scientific Notation and Linear Equations Lessons 4 through 7 review. Questions 47 through 50. These 4 questions are review questions from previous tests. So you've already been tested on it. You should already know how to do these, so I'm going to go through them quickly. Starting with question 47. The surface area of a sphere is given by the formula surface area equals 4 pi r squared. Brad has a sphere with a surface area of 676 pi square decimeters. Help Brad determine the radius of his sphere. So his surface area is 676 pi decimeters squared. So we're going to take that 676 pi, same thing that's right there, and we're going to plug it in for the surface area. I already wrote the formula down. You should too. Now don't forget that pi on the end. That's important. So this would be 676 pi equals 4 pi r squared. Now, I want to ultimately isolate the r. So that means I need to get rid of the 4 pi and the square. So what I would do first is divide both sides by 4 pi. So the pi's will cancel and the 4's will cancel on the right. The pi's will cancel on the left. Then I'm going to take this 676 and divide it by 4, which would give me 169. So 169 equals r squared. Now, again, ultimately I want to get r by itself. So that means I need to get rid of the square. And the inverse to squaring a number is to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 169 is 13. So 13 equals r. Now this is a word problem, so our word problem needs to be answered using words. The radius of Brad's sphere is 13 decimeters. Pause your video, get all of that written down. All right, 48. Find the solution to each of the equations for 48 and 49. Again, we've got this square and we've got a cube. So the inverse to squaring a number is the square root. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. That would allow me to cancel that. All right, pull up the calculator. There we go. Square root of 30.25. Square root of 30.25 is 5.5. Now, remember, for square root, though, your final answer must have the positive and negative sign in front of it. So positive and negative 5.5 equals f. All right, for 49, this time we are taking the cube root of both sides because the inverse to cubing a number is the cube root. Don't forget those 3's. So I need a cube root, so make sure you have that 3. And then it's going to be negative 0.729. You technically didn't need to put the you technically didn't need to put the 0 into the calculator, but that's okay if you did. And we get negative 0.9. So n equals negative 0.9. And that is it for those two problems. Pause your video, make sure you have it all written down. Last but not least, 50. So we're going to simplify this expression. This is back for our laws of exponents. All right, our following laws, or to solve any problem with laws of exponents, you have to follow your order of operations. Follow PEMDAS. So I have to do what's inside the parentheses. The operation inside the parentheses is division. So I'm going to start by putting the coefficients in the calculator using the fraction. So negative 18 over negative 27. That would reduce to 2/3. So cross out the negative 18, that'll become a 2. Cross out the negative 27, that is 3. P to the ninth and p to the ninth have the same exact exponent, so they will completely cross out. S to the sixth is the smaller exponent, so it gets completely crossed out, and 8 minus 6 is 2. After you divide, you should always rewrite. Always rewrite. So I have on top in the numerator, I have 2 r to the 4th s squared, and the bottom, the only thing left is a 3. And the outside exponent is a negative 3. All right, now, if you don't remember what the n to p is, that means negative to positive. And that is because I have this negative exponent. So I need to flip it. So now, the 3 will be on the top. And the 2r to the 4th s squared will be in the denominator. And the exponent now will be a positive 3. Last step, power of a fraction. All right, so off to the side is where I write 3 to the 3rd and 2 to the 3rd. Three to the 3rd power is 27. If you need reminded of how to put that in your calculator, if you're using the iPad calculator, it's the X with the third button beside it, so 3 to the 3rd. Or you could have used the X to the nth and put in a 3. Either one would work. So 27. I might as well do 2 to the 3rd while I'm here. So 2, so I'll use the X to the nth button this time. 2 to the 3rd, and that is 8. So in the numerator, I have 27. In the denominator, I have 8. Oops. And now I need to multiply these exponents. So that would be r to the 12th and s to the 6th. Pause your video, make sure you have all of that written down. All right, that is it for the review. If you have any questions on the review at all, please let me know. It's very important you understand what you're doing because you're going to be using this to take the test. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.